Well, when it rains, it pours, and it is definitely raining on the anime industry. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Neko Cafe podcast. I am your host, Gruzbee, and today we're going to be talking about HIDIVE. So, about a month ago, right? HIDIVE, which is another anime streaming platform, for those of you that have never heard of it, decided that it was going to shut down some of its streaming access in certain countries. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't know about this. 3 weeks ago was when I uploaded my podcast episode talking about Crunchyroll. And had I known then, I might would have mentioned something about it, but maybe it's for the best. Nevertheless, a couple of days ago, I learned about this, and we're going to talk about it because it sort of has some implications about the future of the anime industry, especially streaming anime industry. But also, I feel like there may be some misunderstanding as to why HIDIVE has done this. So, if you go to the HIDIVE website, there's no article or announcement talking about this. If you go to like their news tab, there's no news update that says, hey, this is what we're doing. To find this information, you have to go all the way down to their help center down at the bottom, and you have to go to where it says recent announcements, and one of the entries here says, why is HIDIVE no longer available in my country? And they give a sort of explanation that says, we are currently evaluating the HIDIVE offering and our area of operation, and unfortunately the service will no longer be available in certain areas outside of North America as of December 14th, 2023. Please note that you will have full access to our content library on our website through December 31st, 2023. We sincerely appreciate your business and apologize for the inconvenience. Now, Screen Rant wrote an article a month ago, I guess shortly after this update, and had a few things to say about it. And they must have reached out to HIDIVE support, because HIDIVE support did sort of offer a little bit more clarification as to what their what that means, what this update is all about. So here's the Screen Rant article, and I have to warn you, some of it is a bit weird sounding and very vague, and I'm going to do my best to try to expand on this a little bit, because I feel like some clarification is needed for this. So let's get into it. Screen Rant's article, this was published a month ago. It says, big anime streaming service shutting down suggests troubles for the market. And that title is so clickbaity. Okay, I have problems with that title. I have problems with any title that suggests doom and gloom when there has been no indication of such doom and or gloom. Anyway, let's get into the article here. So it says, HIDIVE, a popular anime streaming service, will be shutting down in most parts of the world, leaving only a few select countries with access to their content. This comes as a shock, considering HIDIVE was once seen as a potential competitor to Crunchyroll. HIDIVE's decision to limit its service could be attributed to competition from larger streaming platforms like Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus. Users of HIDIVE have also been expressing concerns about issues with the platform, such as interface problems, dubbing and subtitle quality, the mobile app, and the sudden removal of anime without prior notice. Okay, I feel like I need to sort of walk through this here. I feel like I said, this article is a little jank. I never thought of HIDIVE as being well, maybe back in the day, they were a potential competitor for Crunchyroll. I think more of a competitor for Funimation than Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's always been like this monster that just gobbled up anime that was being broadcast. Like every season, it seemed like if it was going to be streaming, chances are it was going to be on Crunchyroll. And it was also going to be on Funimation, and it might also be on HIDIVE. Crunchyroll was just always kind of there. So when it came to competitor, I was more thinking of HIDIVE / Sentai in terms of home video market, not necessarily the streaming market, okay? So in terms of home video, Blu-ray, DVD releases, that sort of thing, I felt like HIDIVE was more of a competitor with, say, Funimation than Crunchyroll. But as far as streaming goes, HIDIVE has always had a huge backlog of anime titles because when they got recycled from the ADV catalog, they brought all of that with them. They brought all of ADV's titles that they still owned with them into HIDIVE. And so you can still go and go back a long way into old ADV territory when it comes to HIDIVE's content. And also, they have uncut content. They have the home video versions streaming there. So when it comes to being a competitor, I would say then before the merger with Funimation Crunchyroll, they were more of a competitor as far as, like I said, the home video market. But now, if they were a competitor to Crunchyroll, it only exists in terms of, say, streaming uncensored content, getting all the boobies. Now, the decision to limit its service could be attributed to competition from larger streaming platforms. Obviously, that's always going to be a factor. When you have 1,000 platforms that are streaming content, it makes it really difficult. It's sort of like trying to be a content creator on YouTube and talk about anime when there are literally a billion people making anime related content. Like this video, this podcast is probably one of a million such videos that already exist. Has been information, right? Now, as far as the concerns and issues with the platform, I kind of want to go over those. I feel like that's a little bit, some of these I don't see as true problems, and some of these I feel like are issues that are of a individual personal nature, like personal preference nature. So they list some of the concerns about the platform as being interface problems. The interface problem has sort of been there since the beginning. When it comes to like marathoning or cramming or binging anime on HIDIVE, it's a little weird. You kind of have to play around with the player a little bit, going back and forth. Never really liked that. The dubbing and subtitle quality, that's personal preference. There have always been people that are going to complain about the dub. There are always going to be people that are going to complain about the industry subtitles. There have been people that have been complaining about Funimation's dubs and subtitles since Funimation was a thing. So that's nothing new. I coughed that up as personal preference. If there are quality issues, which I'm not going to deny that they probably may exist, they do exist elsewhere as well. I don't think that it should be lumped solely on the shoulders of HIDIVE. It's just, oh, they have terrible dubs, they have terrible subs. I think it's subjective. Personally, I think it's subjective. The mobile app definitely has some issues. And the mobile app issues, though, again, if these are the issues that I'm thinking that they are, isn't anything new. If I remember back in the day, when the app first came out, they got like flagged or something by, I want to say, the Apple Store for their uncensored content. The Apple Store was like, we're not going to let you show anime boobies, even though Funimation could show at the time uncensored content and Netflix could, and every other place could. For some reason, HIDIVE got slapped, and they appealed it, and the appeal was overturned, and they had to resort to directing people to use the web browser if they wanted to watch uncensored content. So if that's what they're talking about, that's not necessarily HIDIVE's fault, unless they're talking about newer issues with the app, which I think it just depends on what device you're using the app on. Could be a problem. Like on one of my Roku devices, the app is very janky. On my Roku TV, the app works smooth as butter. So I don't know. That's probably an app issue. It could be a device issue. Take your pick. The sudden removal of anime without prior notice. I don't know anything about that, except to say that anime did go away from several platforms when the Funimation Crunchyroll merger happened. At the time, I think Crunchyroll was sharing some streaming duties with other streaming platforms. Like, if I recall, there were some shows that were streaming on Crunchyroll and also streaming on Funimation and HIDIVE. Crunchyroll was also sharing some anime titles with other distributors as well. So once the merger happened and Sony was like, no, we want all of our stuff only on Crunchyroll, HIDIVE took a lot of their titles away from Crunchyroll, and I think the same thing happened with Crunchyroll. They took some of their titles off of HIDIVE. I don't think there were very many. I think there were just a few select ones. Now, if the other shows have turned up missing, I wish they would have given us an example of that. And if anyone does know, maybe they could put that in the comments. But as far as I know, shows did not just suddenly disappear unless there was a terrible lapse in licensing or something. Okay, so we've said that. Let's continue with the article here. Anime streaming service HIDIVE has just announced that it will be shutting down service in most parts of the world. And I really want to say, let me point out here, when it says most parts of the world, again, it doesn't give us an example of their overall reach. Most parts of the world could mean anything. It could mean more than half of the world. It could mean 75% of the world. We just don't know. I wish someone would have said, give us an example, but no example is given. As one of the bigger, continuing with the article here, as one of the bigger and newer anime streaming services, it's not bigger and newer. Trust me, it's kind of big, but it isn't like the newest thing on the market here. HIDIVE has been acquiring streaming rights for popular anime, making it a company to watch out for. I feel like that sentence was written by ChatGPT. I really do. I really feel like some of this article was just ChatGPT all the way, which is why it just seems very vague about a lot of its points that it's trying to make. God. Okay. Making a company to watch out for. Hot damn. After being bought by AMC, the streaming site went on an aggressive campaign to become the go-to website for anime fans. And it was beginning to look like a real competitor for Crunchyroll. Please don't even feed me that crock of crap. Okay, first of all, let me just say this. Not once in the history of HIDIVE do I personally believe that they were ever aggressively campaigning to get anime. They had an opportunity back way before Funimation and Crunchyroll were a merged thing. And there were seasons that went by when HIDIVE would only acquire maybe 3 shows. And I'm like, dear God, what are you people doing? Do you not have the money to go after a few more shows? So, no. As far as I know, when the AMC purchase happened, nothing changed. HIDIVE has consistently pussyfooted around when it came to acquiring anime. They have let, and I'm going to sound kind of harsh here, okay? This is going to sound kind of mean. It's going to sound a little tough. I'm sorry. But HIDIVE has let Funimation and Crunchyroll roll them over since the beginning. Okay? So no, I do not believe for 1 second that they went on an aggressive campaign to become the go-to website for anime fans. If anything, it was Sony/Crunchyroll that went on an aggressive campaign to become the go-to website for anime fans. And no, I don't feel that they were ever a serious competitor for Crunchyroll. They were an alternative at best to Crunchyroll. Because they didn't have the sheer volume of simulcasts that Crunchyroll did in any given season. Okay, let's continue with the article here. HIDIVE managed to obtain exclusive streaming rights to popular anime shows as Neko and The Eminence in Shadow, which led to a surge in popularity and new subscribers. I would like to see proof of that. If anything, there have been some shows that have put HIDIVE into the forefront of, I would say, I don't know, put them out there for the viewers to be, or the fans to go like, hey, we need to go to HIDIVE. There's always been a show or two that have directed people to HIDIVE. But I don't think there's ever been like one big show that have been like, oh yeah, this is it. This is going to be the foundation on which we are going to be the be all end all of anime. I certainly don't think it's The Eminence in Shadow. That's why it has come as a shock that starting on December 14th, 2023, HIDIVE will no longer be available except in a few select countries. So I think they may have reached out to HIDIVE and they got a response here. Because this next part is from HIDIVE support. It says, we apologize for the inconvenience. The announcement about our leaving service is for most non-English speaking countries on 12/14/2023. After that date, our service will be available in the following countries: the United States, Canada, Ireland, United Kingdom, and Australia. And it's signed HIDIVE support. The article continues and says, HIDIVE has been a rising platform in the anime industry that targeted niche anime to develop a steady foundation and then went on to acquire licenses for bigger anime. For a while, it seemed that they could be Crunchyroll's new competitor, but this news completely shattered that notion. I feel like some of this article was written by an AI program because they keep bringing up this Crunchyroll competitor as if, no, I have to completely disagree with that. Alternative. I think alternative is a better word for it. Now, you're probably wondering, oh no, this is all the countries that they're going to be available in. And I think I may have an answer for why. Before everyone starts, bemoaning the fact that the anime industry is over, streaming as we know it is coming to an end, the sky is falling, Crunchyroll and Sony are going to take over the universe, which that could still very well happen. I think, personal opinion here, that the reason HIDIVE has pulled back on their territory when it comes to streaming is not because they're running out of money, so much as this is an AMC decision. So I went looking to see what countries AMC Plus is available in. And it says, this was updated Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. What countries is AMC Plus available in? And it says, AMC Plus is currently available in the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, and Spain. That sounds pretty similar to HIDIVE. HIDIVE is available in the United States, Canada, Ireland, United Kingdom, and Australia. And AMC Plus is US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, and Spain. It doesn't say UK. So I think rather than it being that HIDIVE has just been pushed into a corner by the conglomerates of the anime streaming empires that be, I feel like this decision was mostly an AMC one. And I could be wrong. It could very well be HIDIVE is, hemorrhaging and they need to tighten their belt. But I really feel like this is more of an AMC decision than anything else. AMC is trying to wrangle their product. And, you know, it could also come down to licensing. I'm not saying that and I know the countries don't one-to-one align, but they don't necessarily have to. It's sort of the gist here. Certain select European countries, United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, it just sort of makes more sense than Crunchyroll is destroying HIDIVE, which is probably the take that a lot of content creators are going to have, that, oh no, it's the end of the world, HIDIVE is shutting down. What's going to happen when HIDIVE closes their doors? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Again, simply because HIDIVE has such a big back catalog. They have something that Crunchyroll doesn't, which is uncensored anime. And as long as they have that, I think that they're going to survive. And I want to say survive isn't the same thing as thriving, but it isn't dying. I mean, I'm looking at the HIDIVE website now. Okay, so I'm looking at the simulcasts. As far as simulcasts go, right now there are 12 shows that are listed on the simulcasts page. There's Card Fight Vanguard, Will plus Dress, Dark Gathering, The Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy, The Dreaming Boy is a Realist, The Eminence in Shadow, Helic, Insomniacs After School, Level 1 Demon Lord, and One Room Hero, The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen, Ragna Crimson, Spy Classroom, and The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess. And, you know, it's not the best simulcast season that I've seen, but damn, it's more than 4 that they used to have. I mean, I'm kind of impressed. And you know what? I watched Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero. Pretty good show. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I may have to make a video talking about it. And I'm trying to finish The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess. Didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually liked it. Yeah. So as far as at least the simulcast goes, they don't seem to be hurting that bad. If there were only 2 simulcast shows, then that would be like, oh yeah, HIDIVE definitely looks like they're about to close their doors. Buy up everything you can. Oh no, it's over. I'm not saying that at all. I don't think it's over for HIDIVE. I think this, like I said, I think this decision is mostly an AMC one. I don't have any proof of that, but it just seems like something they would do considering what countries AMC is available in. And yeah, so I don't know. It's all up in the air, but I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's the doom and gloom that some are claiming that it may be. If you want to read that article, just type, I don't even want to link it in the description because it's such a janky article. But I feel like a lot of the article is a little misleading. I feel like they made some statements and claims here that they didn't back up with any sort of facts or proof. And I don't have proof in my theory. And I stated that it's a theory. It is a theory. The whole AMC thing is a theory. But it seems to be a more sound theory than just, oh no, arbitrary Crunchyroll crushing HIDIVE into poop. I don't think that that's the case at all. But I will say this. In HIDIVE's defense, they have a lot going for them still. And they have an opportunity to cash in on something that Crunchyroll and Sony do not, and that is an uncensored library, an uncensored catalog. And if HIDIVE were to actually make good on the aggressive acquisition of anime, I feel like they could be a serious thorn in Sony's side. I would like to see that. I would like to see HIDIVE and Sentai become a major pain in the ass for Sony. I don't think they're actually going to be a legit competitor in terms of sheer number of subscribers and people watching their shows, but I think that if they can offer the thing that Crunchyroll won't, then that will put them in at least a safe bubble as far as the streaming market goes. So that's pretty much all I have. I think HIDIVE is in a safe spot. I don't think it's the end of the world. The streaming market is still in a state of turbulence, but I hope that maybe if you're, you were worried about HIDIVE, I hope this maybe alleviated some of that concern. I don't feel concerned at all. But I am curious to see where this goes. Now, if for any reason HIDIVE pulls back any further, then I will have to retract everything that I've said. Or it could be more AMC just tightening some belt that we don't know about. Anyway, what are your thoughts on HIDIVE? I would love to get your take on it. If you are a subscriber, how long have you been a subscriber? Do you watch HIDIVE? Do you even know that HIDIVE exists? Maybe I should do a poll. Do you know that HIDIVE exists and is a thing? Anyway, this is something of a short podcast because I just really wanted to talk about this one topic. There wasn't a bunch of things that I wanted to add to it. Mostly, I just wanted to address some of the unrealistic concerns that I felt were going around, and definitely address this janky article from Screen Rant. Whoever wrote this, if you used ChatGPT, stop it. Just stop it, because it clearly shows. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's get some conversation going. Do you think that this is all Crunchyroll's fault? Do you think this is HIDIVE's fault? Do you think this is AMC's fault? Do you think that this is whatever? Just let's get some conversation going, and we'll take it from there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm still working on getting the podcast up and going, getting some more ideas for future episodes, and it's taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but there will be more. And if this is something that you enjoy, then by all means, make sure that you hit the like button, and make sure, and this is really important, make sure that you turn on all notifications whenever you hit the bell icon, and also turn on notifications on your mobile app, so that you can be notified whenever I upload new podcast episodes. Anyway, thank you so much. My name is Gruzbee, and the Catgirl is Fumi-chan, and I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Neko Mimi Cafe. Look forward to the next one, guys, and I will see you all real soon. Bye.